Morning guys, so welcome back to NZ Mopo Outlaw Kustoms. Maybe a new video. Yeah, on Friday, that bloody compressor failed, which is a pain in the ass. Absolute pain in the ass. So that's actually in the shop. They dropped it off on Saturday morning. Well, I didn't, but the owner's son did, because I was away seeing my cousin. Yeah, so it kind of leads me at a standstill with some things, kind of, but not really, because I'd like to get some primer and some bits and pieces. That was what I was hoping to do, get a few bits and pieces sorted so I get some primer on them, like some of those little pieces, because I would like to do some wood graining stuff and bits and pieces. I've actually been doing a little bit of research on that. I think I've got an idea what we need to do, but I can't do that because I've got no ear to use my roll-locks and bits and pieces, because I was going to get that dash surround cleaned up, or finish cleaning it up and get some etch on it, which I could do by hand, just to get that saw finished so it's not sitting there and raw and flashing, rusting, because it is, the moisture content is getting more because it's cooling off. Yeah, I'm just trying to think. So I think what I might do this morning is have a wee straighten up, put some tools away, have a sweep, and maybe just get a dust pan and brush, and just have a wee sweep up on the benches instead of having a general blow down like I would normally do. That's normally what I do. I just clean all the crap off it and then just blow all the crap onto the floor and then sweep it up. I can't do that, so I'll just have a bit of a sweep up and just a general tidy up. And then I think I might do some wet sanding on this body. Get it a wee bit further along so I can at least get it polished. Because if I can get the gearbox shaft and the other bearing, I can put that back together, and hopefully I can get a flywheel and a clutch soon. And if I've got this polished, at least around the firewall and cowl, or at that point where I can get the motor and box back in it. I've got to tarp the motor up a little bit on the outside, and we're going to pop the head off it. But at least if I can get that stuff together, we can do that. What else? Yeah, and I might start fitting those door trims so I can, because I've got to drill the holes in the tops of them for what do you want to call it? For the side curtains. So I think this is an old front one, I think. So this has only obviously got a hole at the back end. I'm assuming this is an old one from the front. I'm not sure which one it is, but it doesn't matter. And get them fitted, and then obviously when we get a few other things sorted, then I can get them prepped for paint. I'll probably need to fit them and get them to get those holes drilled, and then probably make the side curtain stuff, or at least get them worked out. Yeah, it's just awkward to have ear. So hopefully I can get that bloody thing back soon, or just get something else here that I can use. So I've got some sort of ear. It doesn't worry me if I can't use my DA or anything like that, as long as I can got a bit of ear, so I can use at least a die grinder and my roll-locks and if I need to flick a little bit of primer around, I've got enough here just to run a spray gun, if you know what I mean. Hey, the other week we were talking about the welding helmets and bits and pieces, because on those use welder helmets, well, this is not mine, and I presume it's the owner's son's helmet, because he's been using it to do some bits and pieces over there. He must have brought it in. Now this is very similar looking as what the one I had in Australia was. Now this has got more of a blue lens. Let's see if I can show you what it looks like, if you know what I mean, to look through it. So this is quite clear too with the blue lens, but it's not as clear looking, well, without having the use welder helmet here. But this is quite clean to look through. This was what my welding helmet was like in Australia, the Weld Safe, was it Boss Safe? Boss Safe Blaze helmet that I had in Australia. It's very similar to that, whereas the one we got here, just jump up here and show you. Like this is more of that. This is the, the older technology from probably, what I say, 10 years ago sort of type thing. It's got the more green lens without that before they went to the bigger. So it's got that green hue, which is, to be honest, like even compared with that one, it's pretty horrible to look through. Like it's all right if that's what you got, but compared to that, this is pretty good to look through. And that's what, I'm pretty sure that's what that Boss Safe one was like. Blaze was just obviously the variation. I think this is a Weld Tech. I don't know, I haven't seen it before. I just had a quick Google and found it for sale here for about $100 in New Zealand, thereabouts, give or take. Obviously probably depends on the special of the day. But yeah, that doesn't look like too bad a helmet for something that hasn't got that green lens. It's pretty clear. Like it's not not as clear as that. When you took the use welder helmet away, it wasn't tinted like this one. But this has got that. It's got a very light blue tint in it, which is heaps better to look through than that green by far. So if you can't get a use welder helmet, I would get something with that light blue lens in it, and I think they call that, was it true? It's like a true blue lens or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Where it's more natural to look through than the old green technology. So yeah, like that's quite a leap from that. Yeah, I actually wish I bought my Blaze helmet with me. Look, it would be quite nice to be able to use it, but because I don't know how long this is going to hang around here for, if you know what I mean. I was just happened to be sitting over in the corner here, and I noticed it when I was cleaning up. So I just thought I'd do a little thing on it to show, because even look back through that way, you can see through it reasonably easy, whereas those other ones you can't. So that would be better than the old green lens for sure. But yeah, I thought I'd just do a little thing on that. So when I noticed it and had a look through it, I said, yeah, that's like that one I had in Australia. It's got that more light blue lens in it, which was quite good to use. It was definitely a leap from that. But that almost perfectly clear lens for those use welders would be really good. Yeah, I definitely would love one of those use welder helmets, but we'll see how we get on. I'm probably going to end up over in the States at some point shortly. I don't know, hopefully within, what are we, April? So March, April, May. Yeah, if I can get over there by June, early June, would be all right, or even the end of May. It will just depend on how we get on with this. My plan is, because that guy wants to get that 24 Dodge done, and I'm going to look at that this weekend, hopefully. hopefully he's talking about getting it out this weekend. If it is, well, I can actually have a decent look at it instead of it being buried in a shed, because all I could really do was get to about, I could get to about here, about this position on the car. I couldn't get any further down it to have a decent look down it, and I couldn't get down the other side. It was sort of, this front corner of it was, I would say open-ish, but it was very stacked, like I was sort of standing, you know, like half a foot away from it, if you know what I mean, and shuffling in between piles and piles of stuff. So it was very hard to look at. But I know it's a low mileage vehicle. Like we're talking, like I think from a figure, I think it was less than 50,000 miles. I know that from new, and it had been in. I'm fairly sure it had been in the family since new. But yeah, it's a real low mileage car, but it's very, very shabby. Like very shabby. Like, to be honest, in some ways, it's probably worth more the way it is. But it's missing the convertible top. So I think that was part of the thing I was going to have to make, was a convertible top. And he wanted to put new upholstery in it and paint it and just have a quick check over the running gear, and just, because it hadn't been running for 10 years, just get it running and driving and just obviously make sure everything worked. And it's a full steel body, it's no wood frame in it. It was the first of the steel bodies for Dodge anyway. And it probably was one of the, I wouldn't say it was one of the first steel body cars, but it probably was one of the first steel body cars, you know, full steel body, without having all the wood inside it and all that sort of crap. But they were back in the, you know, back in those days, there were most of them wood frame, like internally, whereas that was full steel. So it makes it a damn sight easier to work on. So for all I've got to do is pull the paint off it and paint it and send it to an upholsterer to get it upholstered, and just give it an oil change and a check over and whatever. You know, that's a reasonably easy build. It's still a few dollars involved, because there's still a lot of time and stripping it down and cleaning it up and whatever, and putting it back together and getting it running. But it mightn't be such a big job. So if I can get it started and strip down and whatever, and then come back and finish it and paint it, because I think he wanted it about this time next year. I think it would be fairly achievable within, you know, get it to a certain point and then bugger off to the States for 3 months, 4 months, 5 months sort of type thing, and then come back. So if I left in June, so say I've got June, July, August, September, and possibly October over there, maybe, you know, or maybe come back about October, start of October. That probably wouldn't be too bad. Yeah, it depends. You know, I might just spend 4 months over there, I don't know. Maybe June, July, August and September, and then come back, and then that would give me a fairly good time frame to finish a cosmetic, if you know what I mean, more than a full rebuild and remake and everything like that. Everything's worn out and buggered, you know. Whereas this was a major. This is a full rebuild. Go through everything. That's get it running and driving and whatever. Because it's been running and driving up until 10 years ago, you know, on a regular-ish basis, but not for very far. You know, it's probably put tyres on it and just check it and service it and whatever, and then do the cosmetics, if that's really what he wants to do, if you know what I mean. So yeah, it's probably not a massive job, but it's probably a good one to finish off there, and then hopefully then we can, while I'm in the States, I can work out exactly what I need to do to get there, and just piece it all together, I guess. So yeah, and maybe get the YouTube channel a bit more generating an income too. You know, with doing videos and bits and pieces over there and all that sort of stuff too. So that's kind of the plan. But anyway, I'll carry on cleaning up. But I just thought I'd run over that helmet. I thought that was quite interesting just to show you the difference. Yeah, because that's, I'm pretty sure that's what mine was like, and it had that bigger lens too. That's got that sort of step up bigger lens. I know some of the newer ones even got bigger lenses than that again, but that's quite an improvement over that one. Like that would be a real benefit to somebody that had been with that, because it is a heaps easier to see through. But I think that US Wild with that really big lens and just totally clean, clear, look like looking through glass, just to do anything and set yourself up, it's just it's so easy. And especially for somebody that's a little bit older and a bit, the eyesight's not so good. It makes it so much easier. But anyway, I'll carry on cleaning up. Righty, so I'm still cleaning. Obviously you can see I've had a fairly good clean up here and just a quick sweep down. I just opened that up and just dragged all the sawdust out of the bottom of that. I haven't done for a while, but that's quite handy because I think the owner's son had that steel drum in here, and I think he was making like a burning drum out of it or something like that. So there was a bit of oil on the ground because it was an old oil container, old oil drum. So the sawdust from there, I've thrown on that to help soak up the bit of oil that was dripped there. So yeah, I'll just leave that for there for a while, and then I'll sweep up. I'll go back to the other side, and then I'll sweep all this into one pile. And I'll have a wee tidy up and sort out over there. I don't think I need much more panel steel at the moment, so I'll move that off those stacks, off the panel stands, and throw it back here in the corner. Stuff like that. If I need it, it's easy enough to throw back up there. So yeah, we'll have a bit of a sort out. I wouldn't mind, I'm half tempted to fucking get a piece of, a bit of ply out of one of those pieces over there, and I would like some of that thick stuff I was using, but there's not much of it left, and put it on here. And at least give me a half reasonable piece of bench over here. Like, I'm not too worried about there because I don't use that too much down there, and I don't use it too much down there a little bit. But this is the bad spot that I like working at, but it's freaking absolutely stuffed. It's a pain in the ass, and you lose like freaking drills, and it's probably drill there, is there? Probably, by the looks of it. Let's see if I can pick it out. But yeah, like you lose shit down there, which is a pain in the ass too. Something to flip that out of there, whatever it is. Yeah, it looks like a drill. Yeah, it is. So yeah, it's the sort of thing that happens. Like you sit something there and it slips down in there, and then you stop till later when you clean up and you find it's pretty clean. Yeah, pain in the ass. It's just annoying. So I'd like to get that bench so I'm not losing shit down there. You know, nuts and bolts and screws and frickin' whatever else, if you know what I mean. So at least it's half reasonable. So I might try and do that at some point too. At least put something just on in between these two vices would be nice. To try and get a half decent bench. It's a pain in the ass, it's so rotten. That backboard's not quite so bad, it's a little bit, but it's these front ones that seem to be the bad buggers. Mind you, it's where we're hitting and doing stuff, and it's just a pain. Righty, so I've finished cleaning. I haven't done much over here because I've really need to go through some of that stuff, well, carefully-ish, because there's bits and pieces in amongst there that I've still working on, I guess. I can put some of the paint and stuff down, but there's not actually, by the time I take away a bit of the crap, it shouldn't actually be that much there, but I'm just trying to decide what I'm going to do here because I'd love some freaking air so I can blow this thing down to get the thick of the dirt off it, because I don't really want to wipe it off, if you know what I mean. And then I need to hunt out some of the gear I had for wet sanding this. But yeah, I don't want to freaking end up with the dirt scratching the paint, which is a bit of a pain. Almost sort of need to kind of wash it, but where it sits, if you know what I mean, because I've got no freaking wheels. Righty guys, so welcome back again. So it's just after lunch, and I was about to walk out the door at home, and yeah, I was like walk past the door outside just to go into the kitchen to grab me the coffee and the road cup that Arco and Heidi sent me, I don't know, 12 months ago or more now. And I looked at the door and I was like, something behind the door, because it's, you know, frosted glass back door into the house, off their driveway. And I was like, don't remember ordering anything. Okay, well, I knew that Mum and Dad were away. I thought, well, maybe they've had something delivered to our house instead of it turning up at home at their place, which is not far away, you know. I thought, oh, maybe. So, went and had a look. Right. Well, it wasn't anything from Mum and Dad. It's addressed to me. So I was like, okay. It looks like an Amazon box. Not that I'm really familiar with them, but I've seen enough videos. So I was like, okay, what's going on here then? So I'll turn the camera around and we'll point this in a better direction and get a slightly wider view, and we'll see what's in here, eh? I have opened it, so I kind of know, but I haven't dug too far, if you know what I mean. Alright, so I'll give you a couple of guesses what's in here. And it's weird, and it's really weird, because I looked at one this morning that hadn't never been here before. So, and you can't buy these in New Zealand. Well, not directly anyway. So yeah, it's obviously a used welding helmet. Now I know the one that I wanted with the triple screen, like Arco and them have got. Because I did have them on my wish list, but they run out of those a wee while ago, because I was actually just about going to order myself one. But yeah, they weren't available for the triple screen one. But I thought I didn't really worry about it. But again, thank you, Hombre Garage. You're outdoing yourself, buddy. I'm going to have to try and organise some stuff to send to you when I get a chance. So it's a single screen one. Now, I'm not 100% sure on whether it's the clear screen one or not. I haven't had a decent look at it. I just seen that it was a single lens one, which I totally appreciate. It's going to be better than what I've got here, which is absolutely awesome. I'm assuming it might be a wee bit more similar to that other one that I was looking at this morning. So yeah, this is it here. So I think it's a wee bit more like that one. It's a bit hard to tell with all the crap on it. So I'll pull this off. But it's a damn sight better than what I've been using. I'll give it that. You can take that right out, can you? So a better look here. Unlock. Because trying to get it rattled around there. See if I can get this plastic out of here properly. So this will be nice to use, even if it's not a full clear screen one, but totally appreciate it, very much so. That other old girl's not too bad, but you know, something with a little more newer technology is definitely better, for sure. They're not a bad looking helmet for what they are, definitely. Push that back across. Push that back across. Sweet, and we'll take this one off. It's more like that other one. It's more like that other one. It's like a greeny blue lens, but it's pretty good. That is pretty nice. It's a bit squashed up, so I'll have to let that relax a bit. Feels like it's a bit, you know, closed up, but that's alright. That's alright. We can adjust that. But it's not a bad looking helmet, like for what it is, and not having a half decent one myself, because I gave that, or because I sold the one I had in Australia. So it's very similar to the one I had in Australia. It's not that super clear lens like the one that Arco and the boys at Ironhead got, but it's way better than the one we got up here. Let's compare some notes, eh? So we've got this one here. So like we're leaps ahead of that. And I think it's very similar to the other one that's here, which is must have been used here over the weekend. So yeah, this has got a way bigger lens in it, so it's even deeper again. That's big. That's a pretty big view. That's pretty nice. Like I wouldn't hesitate recommending it. Like, you know, for not having that true clear lens like those other ones. I have to do some research, but because I don't really know. But it's a pretty good alternative, and it obviously comes with the spare glasses and a battery, or lenses and a battery. What do we got there? Two outsides and an inside. Like for the amount of welding that I do, which is a reasonable amount, but my polish the lens back up trick, you know, when it gets a bit grubby and shitty, from doing a lot of welding, you know, like I'm probably going to replace one of these, maybe every couple of years, you know, unless I happen to get some really big splatter on it or something like that. But yeah, absolutely awesome. Thank you. Man, I can't think of your name is. I do know too, and it's just escaped my head. But what's his name at Hombre Garage? Yeah, I'm going to have to try and. That's my biggest problem. I'm trying to get Heidi and Arco to print me some t-shirts and stuff. So I've got some t-shirts in the US, because a lot of the guys that are watching me are in the US, but there's quite a few that are local here too. But I'd rather support Heidi and Arco and get some t-shirts printed and send us a few people than buy off Teespring, to be honest. Like Teespring's alright, but like my gear seems to be okay. But yeah, but anyway, we'll have a quick wee look. We'll do a comparison, eh? So we'll start with the shitty one first. Well, this one here, this is what I've been using. So we'll do a revisit at. Go on. Take the phone off there. Let's kick that sideways. So that's what it's like to look through that one. Alright, so that's really green. This one here is pretty good. It's quite clear. It's a bit more, it's like a very light blue tint. And this will be something similar, but it's got a way bigger lens on it. So yeah, it's that same sort of light bluey greeny tint. But that's a way nicer helmet than that one. I just obviously got to get it to fit my head properly, and it's a bit squashed up from being in that box. It seems a wee bit odd that they've put them in such a small box to make them a bit squashed up, but I think it'll stretch out over time when it relaxes a wee bit. Is it much narrower? Not really, no. Just it's a bit squashed up and hasn't relaxed back out to where it should be. And I'll have to obviously do quite a bit of adjustment to get it to fit my big noggin. At the moment it's a bit tight, but man, it's a night and day to look through compared with that one. So that's awesome. Wicked, absolutely wicked. And I think what I'll do is, if I do happen to go to Australia, not to Australia, to the States in the next few months to a year permanently, what I'll do is I'll give it to Dad, I think, because Dad's got a helmet like that, and he would, for the bit of welding that he does, he would really appreciate a better helmet. So that's what fell off there, was it? So where did that come from? I don't know. Wrapping around the box, I don't even know what's off. But anyway. So yeah, I'll have a wee play with this later on. I'll let it relax for a bit and see if it'll just come back out to its natural shape instead of being squashed in that box. But that is a very nice helmet. That is a very nice helmet. So that's absolutely awesome. Thank you very much. And very much appreciated. Totally appreciate it. That's going to be way nicer than using that anyway, because I guarantee this other one will disappear. So yeah, this is more like what I had in Australia. It's very close to what I had in Australia. But yeah, that's a huge lens. And this is huge compared with that. Like that's close to double, I suppose. But that's a big lens. So it's nice to look through anyway. So it's really good. Absolutely brilliant. Again, yeah, thank you very much. It's going to be well used and very much appreciated. It will definitely make my life a bit easier. It will. Very much. Sorry. Thank you very much. And yeah, cool to see some yes welder stuff over here. I think they would sell really, really well over here, especially the clear ones, the clear lens. You know, it's a big jump in technology. I think that's just, well, I haven't seen any clear lens sort of stuff over here. But that's getting close. That is pretty close. But, yeah, very much appreciated. Thank you very much. Alrighty, I'll find something else to do. Okay, yeah, I stand corrected. I think this is the true colour lens. So, like, yeah, it's almost like looking through a clear pane of glass, but not, it's just got a very slight blue tint to it. I thought this might have been, because it's very similar to the one I was looking through in Australia, very similar colour, and that's what that other one's like too. It's very, it's almost clear but not quite. It's just a very light blue, you know, like a bluey tint. So yeah, I'm not sure if that is the exact one that's the one that's like those other 3-window ones or not. But without having one here, I can't compare. But compared to that, it's miles ahead. So yes, it says it's the true colour highest optic arc sensor. So I'm guessing it's that clear vision lens. It is. It's almost bloody clear. Like it is. It really is. It's pretty freaking good to look through, really. So yeah, it's a heck of a, it is a heck of a helmet. Like it's night and day compared with that thing anyway. So it'd be interesting to see, be quite cool to see one of the 3 windows beside it and have a look through one of them just to see what the difference is. But that's a nice big window, so it will definitely make life a damn sight easier. Well, I've actually decided I'm going to give these a bit more of a clean up here. There's a couple of cracks in this, and I need to weld them up anyway. Shame I haven't got my compressor going, but I'll give these a wee touch up with wire brush and the grinder, just to get rid of the focus, fine, to get rid of the wee bit of rust that's in these pieces here and here. And then I'll crank out that yes welder helmet and I'll have a wee play and see what it's like to use. Just for a couple little, tidies up in those corners of that thing, but good little first job for it, just to weld those two cracks up. Obviously that's been flexing over the time, so why not? I just put it away. Now I was like, screw it, I want to use it now. So yeah, we'll have a wee play there. I'll get it back out. See what it's like to use. I think if it's anything like what it is to look through without welding, it'll be amazing. I poked a little bit of wood in here just to help stretch it out because it's quite squashed from being in that box. But right, I'll grab a wire wheel on the battery grinder. Touch this from how it was set. Really look, see where we're at. So it's slow, mid to low sensitivity. The delay is, I guess the F means fast, the S means slow. So it's heading towards the fast. It's on grind, we'll put it on weld. Oh, okay, so it's got a high and a low setting on there. 5 to 9, 9 to 13. At the moment it's set at 9, is it? No, you set at 13. I'll flick it to 5 to 9, we'll see how it works, eh? I don't know, I haven't read the book or anything. We'll just have a play and we'll see how it goes as it is. Yeah. It's weird, isn't it? Like looking at that and you don't even have to worry about where you're looking. Crazy. Yeah, it's pretty different to look at. Wow. Sensitivity, I might wipe back a little bit in the shade. I don't know. Try about 6 and see what it's like the other side. It's pretty bloody nice to look through though, geez, what a difference. Pretty nice once I get it where I want it. Good shade. Get back to about 8. So freaking easy to weld. It's nice to not have to lift your helmet up to just make sure that you are where you're meant to be. I'll give that a wee grind up and might just give it another touch up, maybe from the back side possibly. But yeah, far out, it's like totally different on another level. Totally different to use. That is so much nicer to weld with. Not to have to look, like, you know, especially if you've got plenty of light around you. Yeah, it's so easy to see what you're doing when you go to weld, you know, like if you're looking for a pinhole or something like that. Man, it's totally different kettle of fish. Time anyway. Just mainly wanted to test that thing out. Yeah. I would highly recommend one of those welding helmets. Highly recommend it. highly recommend it. Righty, so for a first time bit of welding, that's those couple of little small cracks. That's a totally different thing to use than that. Just to see the little pinholes and exactly where you're setting yourself up to do your next weld or spot weld or whatever, when you, especially when you do panel steel like this, that's really thin and easy to burn through. It makes it so nice. And if you do happen to burn a hole, you can see it straight away, whereas sometimes with that, it's, you know, if your lights are not right, you know, from over top of what you're working on, yeah, sometimes you can't see if you've burnt a little hole until you actually hit it again. Next thing you get a big hole. You know, where you can just stop and you can readjust yourself and fill that little hole or whatever, you know, if the metal's a bit thin. So yeah, if you've got one of those old technology with that greeny lens in it, you can go get yourself one of those yes, weld helmets or something that's very similar. I must admit that's quite close, and I think it's probably very similar to that one I was using in Australia, but I don't know. I'd need to have the two side by side. But with that being that really light blue clear lens, it's beautiful to use. It really is. It'd be interesting to see whether that 3-window one with the two around the side is any different to use. You know, just in general, or whether it's better again. But for a gift from Solar Garage there on YouTube, thanks mate. That's awesome. And yeah, it's going to be very handy just to do these finishing little jobs on this car. And I'll see you into the next one too, you know, and doing some work. But yeah, if I do happen to go to the States, you know, permanently, I'll give it to Dad because he'll appreciate it, you know, with being 70 years old, or plus years old. What is he, 70? 76, so yeah, he'll appreciate it. Because he's still out there doing bits and pieces and fixing stuff, you know. But his helmet's exactly the same as that other black one. I'll take it around to him one day if he's using them. If I know it's going to be using the welder, and I'll throw it at him and go use that, and just yeah, because awesome, absolutely awesome. Way different to those things from 10, 15 years ago or thereabouts. I'd like to know how long those true blue lenses have been around, because yeah, it is a big game changer. I think it would be interesting to compare it to that one I had in Australia, because it's very similar looking. From memory, it's very similar looking through that one there. I think that's a bit clearer than that one, but that's not new though either. And I just picked that one up today just to have a look at it because it was sitting there, and yeah, that's very similar, that other one. Whatever it is, Weld Tech or whatever, which is obviously a brand you can get here in New Zealand. But yeah, if you can't get that, I would go grab one of them because that's very similar to look through. It is very similar to look through. Like when it was new, that would have been quite close. I should just have another wee look. Just see if it is quite as clear to look through. It's very similar. Very similar in behind, like the headrest part of it. Yeah, it's very similar. It is very similar. It might be, hard to say, it might be slightly darker, but if it is, it's not much. Oh yeah, it's probably just, this is cleaner, and it's got a way bigger window in it, which is really nice. Yeah, very comparable. So yeah, even that's probably a good choice over here in New Zealand. Yeah, but awesome gift. Totally appreciate it. again. I sound like a broken record, don't I? But yeah, man, it's nice to use. Came at a really good time just to do these finishing jobs on this anyway. Just hope I can get my compressor back shortly. Actually, that reminds me, I'll give these guys a ring. So I haven't heard anything yet today just to see what they've found or done or what the go is, because I ain't waiting a month for it. Alrighty, we'll get back to it. Right, so, Jesus, that's gone black. Or purple almost. That's that rust converter that I put on, same as that front thing. So I painted both sides of it, just to neutralise the rust that's on it. Actually, I need to touch that bottom edge a little bit better, but yeah, I thought, oh, while it's sitting around here and I've got to wait and compressor to give it a scratch up, I'll just paint some of that stuff on it so it doesn't really flash up bad or anything like that. I won't worry about the inside of it when I come to do the prep the outside to put some high build and stuff on it. I'll probably tack it with one of those Scotch Brights again, Rolox, and get it right up to nice and clean on this side, so at least I'll put a little bit of each on there and then bang a few coats of high build on there, so I can get a nice smooth finish for doing either black or wood grain. I haven't talked to the owner yet, so I don't know which way he wants to go. It was originally black, but they come out either wood grain or black dash, and then they had the wood grain trim around it. So yeah, I just have to see what he wants to do. Personally, I'm hoping he goes to wood grain because I want to better do it and learn another new skill. I think I've got a handle on it, but I don't know until I do it. But it's basically what a lot of people seem to use is Rust-Oleum spray cans that are obviously close to what the original colours are, and then a wood stain over top, which kind of makes sense. So we need to find whatever the colour that is, or something close, and then find a wood stain that would match whatever kind of paint we sort of want to replicate, I guess, or what kind of wood we want to replicate, which is kind of the thing. So yeah, we'll just have to have a wee play with it. I can do a couple of little test pieces on some scrap, and yeah, just brush it out and see what it looks like. But I think it'll be all right. If we can get something to look like a bit like what this is in here, if we can kind of get that look, well, I think it'll look pretty good. So yeah, shit, that went black, man. Holy crap, I didn't quite expect it to go that dark, but it obviously was trying to flash rust again, so at least it's not going to go any further now. But anyway, I'll carry on. I'll give this rebrush a clean up and put that stuff back in the thing, and yeah, find something else small to do. I was going to start wet sanding this, but I don't think I'll panic just today. I might get myself prepared to do that tomorrow. I'll just carry on doing some other little bits and pieces here. Figure out what I can do. I might. I've actually got to shorten up the two pieces that were made here because they were made long for a start off. So I need to shorten them up. So I might do that. Might have a wee look at them. Righty, so these are the next other pieces I've got to do the wood grain on too. So I've set these on there so you guys can, because it's been a while since I've done any of this stuff, and there's a lot of new subscribers that probably haven't seen the work that I did to these. These were made by somebody else, except I think I did make one, I think. Yeah, I made one and reshaped these. I think I made one, I can't remember. I think I might have made the other short one. This is a genuine, original, new. This is factory. It was black, and I stripped it back ages ago because these were all rusty, ill-fitting, and they weren't very even for the width. They were all over the place, and I made that here and another one to slide these along with a slight curve in it. And I made a shorter one too that was the same width, but it was a slightly different curve, so I could reshape them all and get them even like the original ones, because I don't have enough good original ones. They're all rotten and whatever. This is the same sort of profile, but that's for the dash. So yeah, I think I made that one. I can't remember exactly. I'd have to go back through the videos to be honest. But at the time I did these, we'd never had this piece on there because we didn't realise it was meant to be there. It wasn't until we found photos of a green one in America that was right-hand drive that had been imported, that somebody was trying to sell, and it had this timber up on top of it. And we realised there was an extra piece of material in here to that, because the duplexes, which have got the open sides but they come to here, but wooden hard top instead of a convertible top, the seat comes further up in the back of it, and these, because you got the windscreen on all the body there to build the upholstery up to, whereas these here had an extra piece of material put on the back, wood, obviously, because this was originally a duplex body, because it never had these holes in it for the convertible sides. The cars are originally a Tourer, but this back piece is not original to this vehicle, but it's the right back part of the body, if you know what I mean. But we had to convert it, I guess you would call it. So you had to add the extra bit of timber on here, and these trims, because they made them, and the guys that started the project 10, 15 years ago, hold on, I'm just going to change my camera view. Yeah, the guys that started this, they started making these to obviously replace the ones that were all rotten. But yeah, they weren't really quite the right shape, and they're very in and out. But they made it to come right back to here because they obviously didn't realise that it had an extra piece of material on the back here either. So I need to shorten these and then re-cap the end like this. They've got a wood trim piece in the front, and they've got a steel cap at the back, except for these ones. I'll show you on this one here. You've got wood in there and metal at the back. So that's how they are. And then they've got a wooden piece. Here's another one. I've got another old one over here. So it's got wood in here where this goes to, but I think, yeah, I cut the end off this to, for some reason, I can't remember, but this is, I've got to put wood in there too and drill the hole, so I'm not even sure which one that was for. It might have been can't remember, doesn't matter. These might be front door ones maybe. Yeah, these are probably front door ones, and that would be off the other side, because they got one hole and the other piece would clip to the windscreen posts inside them. Oh, they're over there. Anyway, they got like a little dome clip things inside the post, so they'd only have one hole, and then you'd open the door and it would go with it, if you know what I mean. I think may have had two holes, I'm not sure. I have to double check. Well, this one definitely doesn't. And then it's probably had I'm not sure if it's got two holes in here or one here and one in here. I don't know. Or one here, and then it would probably have one back in here too. I really need to work that out so I can make the frames to have the pieces on. But I'm going to make these fit first and then work out where the holes need to go in, and I've got some little copper pieces I spun to go back through the wood. I'm going to have to make more, but I spun these on a lathe to go back through there and to be fitted like this one. So I try to make these as close as I possibly could, if you know what I mean, with what we had. But I might need to make some more. But yeah. So that's some of the steps I've got to still do to these, and then wood grain them. We're finished. So I'll work out roughly where to cut this. I'll cut it along, and then I can trim it back. And I'll cap the end. Righty, so I think I've got that one close. I might take a little bit more off it. Just another, I don't know, a little bit. I think it's probably a little bit too far forward yet. It's not bad, because I've had to push these forward too. I think that one really wants to sit about there. Just trying to get these all sit in space nicely, if you know what I mean. So it's a bit close yet. I need to take a little bit more off it. I've rough trimmed that one. It's probably half an inch too long still. But yeah, this one is close, but I think it just needs another, maybe the thickness of the cutting wheel, maybe slightly more. I think it will be pretty good, and then I'll have to obviously put another hole in it and dimple a little bit for the screw, and then work out the holes for the things. Right, I think I've got them pretty good now. I may have to trim just a little bit more because I've got to put the little filler on the end, a little steel piece on the back side of it against here. So I might just have to take a little bit more, but as long as I don't put too much material on there, it might be alright. Yeah. We probably got a little bit to play with. It should be alright, I think. It should be alright. The only thing is maybe if they put a little bit of material on there to come over that edge. We'll have to see. I'm just not sure how that works. I presume it will probably, because it comes down to here, the trim for the seat. The upholstery, I should say, not trim. So yeah, it comes down to here, so that's probably going to cover in that, so I might just have to shorten them up a little bit more yet, just to allow for that. I might have to take a bit more yet. Just, because I don't want to make them too short and they look stupid, but they can probably allow for that too. Yeah. Yeah, because I don't have to cut those frickin' things and weld them up and wood stain them, after they put the upholstery in, because they're not going to fit. I'll think about it overnight. And just see. I might have to take maybe 5mm. So just thinking to allow for upholstery in the end. So I take them back to about here, back to where that black mark is, and then put the metal piece on there, and that would allow enough. So then when they put the upholstery on there, hopefully, I don't know, I wonder if that would be enough. That's the sort of things you've got to allow for. It's easy to make something and then you get upholstery and all that sort of crap on there, and something doesn't fit because it's got to come up over and tuck around that corner. So yeah, I need to allow for that. But I think that'll do for today. And then Like I was going to wet sand the body and stuff like that, which I will do very, very shortly, but I think I'll get these sorted and get the holes drilled and whatever, and get these tests screwed down at least, because I haven't done that. And I'll just work out where I want to put all the holes and just work all that stuff out. I'll do some research tonight when I go home. See if I can flick through the photos and see if I can see where those holes are meant to be roughly. It doesn't need to be dead accurate as long as we're within the ballpark. So I'm gathering, because this piece will come from inside the windscreen post here, tucked in, and it comes along to here. And it's got like a wee overlap onto this one, and then this one here goes from here down to this door. So I'm guessing there might be, I don't know whether there'll be one hole in here or two holes in here maybe, because that's got to close on that, and then it's got the next piece to hold to here, and there's probably going to be a hole in here, I'm guessing, for that piece, and that'll overlap onto here, and then there's probably a hole in here for the last piece of the curtain after this comes up and then goes up that way. I'm guessing there may be a hole in here for that, but there's also all the clips down the side of the body too on that black paint. So yeah, we've got a bit to do yet, but that's kind of where we're at. Need to get them fitted. So yeah, I think we'll make that tomorrow's job. I'll do some research overnight, see if I can work all that out, see if my theory's right, and get some rough ideas, some measurements, and at least get the holes in there and get these sorted to fit them. And I think I've got it to go back through, and I think I've cut enough wooden pieces in. I think I've shaped enough wood pieces for these bits, so I might have to shape up some more fillers for these ends and for where the bits go. Oh, that one hasn't got one in it. Yeah, some more of these bits. I'll have to glue them in too after I've painted them, so they don't come loose somehow, to work that out too. Anyway, we will carry on. We'll see you tomorrow.